5:30 p.m. and I am calling this meeting to order. So first we're going to do roll call for Board of Directors. And we'll start right here.
Carol Norrell.
Hanoi Avila.
Chris Rocco. David Flores.
All right, and then we'll do two, which is Pledge Allegiance and moment of silence. They're not going to be great.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, it's a moment of silence.
All right, we will move to item 3 on the agenda, comments and questions from district residents. You are limited to 2 minutes for each comment per person. So the first person we have on the list is, I believe, last name Fry?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm on the agenda, correct?
Right.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Tina Flores.
Bill Fry.
Is it Bill?
No.
Bill Fry.
Bill Fry.
Oh, Bill. Okay, thanks.
Last month, Hanoi Avila made a pointed comment about the ongoing litigation.
Excuse me, are we taking time? Are you taking the time?
Oh, sorry. Let me grab my phone. I apologize.
Is there a microphone up there? Should be green.
There goes. It's green. We're good. Okay. Last month, Hanoi Avila made a pointed comment about the ongoing litigation, including the possibility of appealing attorney's fees. He signaled that we are somehow weak because we appealed the judge's decision, yet here we are. Your MUD board appealed the decision ruled by the judge to pay our attorney's fees. What he did not say, and what was not posted on any agenda or discussed in open session, is whether this board ever authorized an appeal of the court's ruling that granted the defendant's TCPA motion and awarded attorney's fees. That omission matters. Decisions involving litigation, especially those that can increase public expense, are not minor administrative details. They require transparency and formal action of properly noticed public meeting. If those steps did not occur, then the public has every reason to question how and by whom these decisions are being made. This is a pattern the public is starting to recognize. Significant actions taking place without clear, visible board approval. Whether intentional or not, it undermines the trust and raises serious concerns about adherence to open government requirements. On another point, Hanoi Avila invited residents to send questions about the bond, suggesting responsiveness and accessibility. However, public information responses indicate that constituent emails are not being answered consistently across the board. The public should not have to guess which board member might respond. Accountability and communication are basic responsibilities of this position. So tonight I am asking for clarity. Why was there not a properly noticed meeting and subsequent vote authorizing an appeal of the TCPA ruling and attorney's fees? The residents deserve clear answers, not side comments after the fact.
Thank you. Linda Fogg.
I have 6 agenda items that I would like to speak to this evening, and 2 minutes is not reasonable to cover 6 items. The Open Meetings Act allows
Take the time, 2 minutes, and she can proceed with.
would you please annotate the record that he's denying my right to speak to agenda
I'm
items?
not denying your right to speak to agenda items. I'm respecting the majority rule of this board, and it's been
The
set
law
for 2 minutes.
says reasonable to speak to agenda items. I have 6 of them.
Can you get Cole's determination on that, since legal counsel, when she's referring to the law?
There is very clear and
said the law.
compelling, well, there's clear and compelling recommendation and interpretation of the law from Attorney General's office that we have on file, and we will proceed with the 2 minutes that we've decided as part of the board.
I will record it as you denying my right to speak to agenda items.
And you are welcome to file a lawsuit if the judge...
I don't have to, I can
decide.
file with the Attorney General.
Sure, go ahead and
I will.
proceed. 2 minutes.
When you line these agenda items up, a clear pattern emerges: delay, missing documentation, and lack of oversight. Since December 2025, we've been told an affidavit confirming the pipes and are lead-free is coming. Chris Rocco, it's been 11 months. There is still no affidavit. At this point, that's not progress, it's avoidance. And this is a regulatory requirement, not a favor. Chris, you're the holdup. The Infomark contract. It has sat on your agenda for 15 months. 15 months to fix a contract so it closer matches the actual services. Instead, the district has continued paying about $20,000 a month for services not being delivered. That's roughly $300,000, not delayed, ignored. The Information Management Committee. 15 months and no improvement to transparency. Residents relying on meducation.org for the records. Residents are forced to file public information requests just to get basic answers, driving up the costs and frustration. This is not a system problem. This is a priority problem. Chris and Carol own this. The budget. An amended budget was submitted with the bond was prepared without the Budget Committee or the board. It increases park spending by hundreds of thousands of dollars, while legal expenses appear significantly understated compared to actual trends by almost $400,000. That's not oversight, that's a breakdown in it. Chris and Carol own this one too. Contractor billing. For 11 months now, Sage has denied having any records to support their additional services invoices totaling almost $8,000. They bill 3 hours to respond with no responsive records, and those charges continue to be approved. No documentation, ongoing payments. Chris and Beth instruct the contractor. Chris and Carol recommend payment without any supporting records, and Carol Committee of One owns the inflated PIR costs.
2 minutes. All right, moving on to our next person. Tom, you may come forward.
Thank you. So last month I stood up here and I said, you guys who approved that lawsuit should all resign. It was a terrible decision. I might have been a little bit overstated about that, you see, because that was the first meeting I've attended in a long time. And what I saw, I had to watch the rest of on video because I had to leave. It was, Ash Wednesday. And I saw this, I think it's a game. I call it the Alice in Wonderland game. It was that scene in Alice in Wonderland, seven's first, 11's second, right? It was just a game. And these people here are just pros at it. I couldn't even see what they did that made, Beth, the president, ask you to call 911. But it was an amazing move. And then they go back, I'll make a move that we keep her, so you don't have to call 911. I mean, what an amazing thing. It's like, let's trap somebody. Let's try to get somebody to call 911, and then, I think this might be a game. But I tell you what, my indignation about spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on taxpayer money on a game, it remains. Turn it down, guys. Come on. Okay, so that was that. I was going to talk about a few items here. The splash pad, if you can build it in the original budget, it was certainly low. Yeah, go ahead. But I don't think you can. So don't increase it because you're already short of money. And then let's see. I happened to get a draft of that bond report, and I was really surprised. You're going to spend $2 million on water service lines. It's a lot of money, right? What's the evidence that we need to, or maybe not service lines, water lines, right? What's the evidence we need to do it? I didn't see that in that application. Maybe that's still to come. Maybe the technical requirements are coming out, but analysis are coming out. But is this like a slush fund, and we just keep around so that if we have something go wrong, we have some money to spend on it? I don't think that's the way a bond is supposed to work. We're supposed to have a project. We're going to place this many feet from this address to this address, that kind of thing. I didn't see that. So that, by the way, my first comment about the game, that's sarcastic. It's not a game. It's shameful. And you should still resign. All right, thank you.
Great. Tom?
Tom Morrow, Assistant Speaker.
After reviewing the draft bond application report, I believe the proposed bond is sound but premature. I recommend the board consider delaying issuance by approximately 3 years to save the average household about $450 in debt service property tax payments. This can be done without materially changing project timing. The bond would require a 4.5-cent debt service tax rate, roughly $400,000 per year, or about $200 annually per household. Over 25 years, residents would pay approximately $4.8 million in interest on a $5.8 million bond. Even if the tax rate does not increase, total taxes paid by residents will rise as a result of this bond, with the addition of a 4.5-cent debt service tax. The district currently holds approximately $5.3 million in reserves, about 1 year of operating expense, almost equal in size to the proposed project list. Half of the project list, likely including the most urgent items, could still be completed over the next 3 years by reducing reserves from 12 months to 6 months, which was a previously established embedded reserve target. This does not delay the urgent work. It only delays borrowing while avoiding $870,000 in interest over 3 years. The report demonstrates that the bond is feasible, but it does not take a position on whether now is the right time to issue it. Before proceeding, I would encourage the board to make these 3 motions. 1, clarify with the accountant what an appropriate reserve level should be. 2, have the bond advisor present the financial trade-offs of issuing now versus delaying a few years. 3, request the engineer's risk-based prioritization of projects and when each project must be completed.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Consent agenda item. I'll leave this up to you.
Can I make a quick comment, Emily, do you mind? Sorry. Sure. Tom specifically, and I know people have questions about the bonds. Next week on Tuesday, the district's financial advisor is going to be here for a special meeting. 1 agenda item to just discuss the bonds. So my recommendation, if you have questions, or obviously attend the meeting. It's going to be meant for questions, mainly from the board. But if you have questions, submit them. They'll answer. I know both my office and the financial advisor's office have received a lot of questions from a lot of residents. That, of course, because a lot of questions are the same question, we've been asking residents to attend the meeting because it's easier to relay the message one time at a meeting as opposed to multiple emails that the district is being charged for responding to residents. And so they'll be here, or the financial advisor will be here again next week to do that and to discuss that. I've heard some comments about the bond application report, and it doesn't include this information or that information. The bond application report is a standard document that's produced by the TCEQ. It's very limited on what needs to be in there. All the information that has been included in that document is consistent with all the information that would be in any bond application report for any municipal utility district in Texas. No bond application reports have analysis on should we issue this now or in 5 years. No reports have that in there. Those decisions are made by the board. The board has provided all the information, a debt summary, cash flow. For example, back in October of last year when this conversation first started, the conservative approach, which means the conservative approach for a debt service payment is 3 pennies to pay off the debt, 3 pennies. And if you were following this conversation, which I know a lot of people are new to this conversation, if you were following the conversation,
You're the last signature on that.
the district's tax rate currently is about 24 cents, some change. What is it?
27.
27 cents and some change. The district needs less than 27 cents to maintain a balanced budget. Obviously, year after year, there's inflation, there's rising costs. You can't just cut your O&M down. But the reason this was presented to the board is that this potential 3.5 pennies that would be allocated to the debt service, 0.035, okay, so 4 if you round up. Those 0.035, that would come from the O&M side. So the district's total tax rate would remain the same. It was just, you just shift pennies from your operations and maintenance into your debt service tranche. Each district has 2 types of tax rates. You've got your debt service and your operations and maintenance.
So it would just be a shifting of pennies. So the rate would not go up. Of course, there's obviously the appraisal district, they value your home, all of that. Those are also factors that people need to consider in terms of your total tax bill. But the district's tax rate, the reason this came up, or the board was discussed it, and the infrastructure discussed presenting these numbers to the board, is because this could be done in a way where the district's total tax rate would not raise. So I just want to clarify that, and again, I invite everybody to attend the meeting on the 24th, which the district financial will be here, advisor will be here, and we'll be able to discuss this in more detail. I'm not a financial advisor, I just gone through this a lot, so appreciate your questions.
I'd like to make a comment also on that. These two individuals sitting here are not financial advisors, so there's all the information that has been proliferated around this district. I would highly recommend you to engage with our financial advisor. There has been ongoing and consistent misinformation. Again, we as board have a responsibility to seek professional advice. And the advice of our district financial advisor has been very clear. This is good, sound financial decision for the district. So please, come to our next special meeting and listen to valid information from professionals that have been in the industry of bonds for
Point of
over 20
order.
years.
Is this appropriate? I would appreciate if Ms. Fabry would put her side.
It's a silent protest.
Okay, you are doing a formal protest.
Silent protest.
Okay, it's a silent protest that she is doing. She is holding a flag up and calling this board, the board members, liars at this time. She's entitled to her opinion, that is certainly true. But there is a behavior of respect, and I wish to bring that to the attention in the board minutes, and this is really not acceptable. Okay, I'm
So
sorry.
again, no, it's okay. I just encourage the public to engage in conversation at our next meeting with our financial advisor.
Is the next meeting a town hall style meeting or?
No, the meeting has already been set. It's an open meeting, public meeting. It's a special meeting. Anybody's welcome to come and ask questions.
Right. So I'm just trying to figure out the dialogue between the residents and the advisor and the board members. Is it going to be open dialogue, or is it going to be where you can shut them down at any point in time?
But no, we don't shut people down. They can come and ask questions. They can come and ask questions. We've created that space to do that. So people are welcome to come. I'm just advising you to make sure that you're not following a lot of this misinformation that's going around that is not founded. It really is not. Folks, this is about politics. I want you to hear loud and clear. So just do the research for yourself. Modification is not a solid place to seek your information.
Governments are known for putting out misinformation as well, just to let you know. So if you
talking
trust
about-
your government, okay.
All right. Do you have any comments to make?
Not at this time, though.
Not at this time. Do you have any comments to make? Do you have any comments to make?
I actually would. I would like to ask that we separate the consent agenda. I just have one bill that I have a concern about, and I would like to pull that out so we can just discuss
This
it.
is a consent agenda item. It's
Correct.
already
We've
been decided.
pulled them out in the past,
He can-
and I'm asking if we could just check one bill. I just had one question.
Sure.
Are you all okay with that? Okay.
Which
go for
one
it.
is that? Which one is that?
So there was the rural, there was something on rural association, rural water association. You guys have
Oh,
it there.
okay.
My question is, when was this discussed in a board meeting, and when did we vote on approving this? We was never in a board meeting, so I asked that we hold that check till it's formally brought up to the attention of the board and presented and approved.
And we
And a vote.
we did not do, I believe we did that well, let me speak for the moment. I believe that was decided, but you're right to ask this question. Before this past year, when there was the idea, was voted on for 2 representatives to be able to go to the conferences, one or the other of the conferences. And in order to do that, I believe we had at that time voted to join those organizations. That's my memory. Okay,
Can I correct your memory?
please do, please do.
Okay, so that, your memory, what you're referring to is for the case conference.
Okay,
Central Austin, what is this case conference? Central Austin Special Capital, okay. So that's what we discussed.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
so we motioned on the case conference only.
Okay,
And then we joined the AWBD.
okay,
Not once has this been discussed in a
Okay.
meeting. So I asked that we just hold off that check and then
Okay.
discuss it in the public meeting for transparency. We're all about transparency.
You're right,
So
you're right.
if you could hold it off, I think it's reasonable, one check, it's not dire that we do it immediately, is it?
I am perhaps in agreement with Mr. Flores at this time, but can you help me remember, Daryl or Reese, what was actually decided in the past when the decisions were made to pay for those at that time?
I would have to go back to meeting
Okay.
minutes.
Yes, indeed. Chris, you and I are a committee together. I am fine with us pulling that one check.
Well, I just want to know who put it on the agenda and whose idea was it to join?
Well, he's
I'm
referring
stating that it
to,
was never put on the
He's
agenda
saying that
and we
it
never
was
discussed
not.
it, but yet you're ready to pay a check for it.
I think it was put on the agenda by Beth.
It was not.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
What-
put on the
what month?
agenda by Beth. I don't have the information right
I'm
now,
telling you,
and
you have
I'm
it.
going to bring order here, so let's move to consent agenda
well,
item.
I would, let
Can
me
we,
say,
listen, we have an
Well,
agenda to
for, I just
follow.
like to put for the record
Let's-
that
I
they
will
are
go ahead and let's go ahead and
discontinuing
move to
this
the consent
conversation.
agenda item.
This is not paid till next month.
So let's go ahead and move
It's
forward,
a simple
please.
check, they're making a big deal out of one small check, because you want to hold the power. You just want to hold that
It's
control.
not about holding power. Contractors need to get paid.
But it was never discussed in a
Can you,
meeting.
it has been discussed in the meeting, and
Please provide me that information on when, because you can't.
I need a motion for our consent of agenda. Chris,
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I second that motion.
and vote.
We've had already discussion on this item, so all in favor?
I will abstain because that bill was never presented, that invoice was never presented to the board in a public meeting.
It will allow our president, our Madam President,
Sorry?
to,
No, it was not AWBD, it was I'll give it to you at the end of the meeting, it was in the checks, it's the Rural Water Association.
rural water. Okay.
Oregon Coalition Association.
Okay. And I would advise you to talk to our president about that coal. Moving on. Minutes of the October 15 of 2025. December 29th of 2025. February 18th of 2026. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve those minutes.
Okay.
And I second that.
Okay, we have a second by Carol. Do we need any discussion on this item?
Just a quick question, Cole, your office did make those changes?
We did.
Okay, then I'm good.
Okay.
All in favor?
Any further? No? Okay, all in favor? Okay, those are approved.
3-1.
Engineers report.
The first point is on the status of the sanitary sewer cleaning and culvert project. Ames has provided Westwood with sufficient reports on sanitary sewer system footage, but they at this time have not provided appropriate documentation for the final pay application. We're still working with them and will update the board as necessary. The next point is on the status of Lead and Copper Road Revisions project. 3 residents have notified Infomark that their service line has been inspected and validated as being non-lead, one of which has provided documentation. Another resident resides in Andersonville West, Section 5, which has already been validated as not being lead. And Westwood contacted the other resident, who responded stating that they do not have documentation for the inspection. Westwood reached out to the TCQ for guidance on making sure that the resident's inspection is sufficient evidence, and the TCQ stands that it is. Westwood has updated the TCQ database accordingly, and this item will be continued to be discussed at the infrastructure committee meetings. The next point is on the Common Sunchase Parkway Station rehabilitations. Westwood is nearing final design on this project, and will review with the infrastructure committee when ready. The cost estimate will be included with the bond application that is currently being prepared. next point is the Infrastructure Committee report. That is attached. The meeting minutes are attached. And then the sidewalk assessment work order. Westwood has compiled a first draft of the assessment, phasing plan, and associated cost estimate. This is in for internal review, and upon finalizing a complete draft, it will be presented for review with the Infrastructure Committee, and then subsequently presented to the board for review. The next item is on the bond application report. Westwood has sent a draft bond application report to the board for review. This draft has also been shared with the financial advisor and district attorney for final review. At this time, Westwood is receiving all final comments and preparing to finalize the report. We have an action item for the board to authorize Westwood to submit the bond application on behalf of the district pending final review from the engineer, attorney, and the financial advisor.
Excellent. So let's go ahead and do the motion. Do we have a motion for the bond application?
I'll do a quick point of clarification on that. If you all, so with this authorization, it'd be to submit it. We will review it one last time to ensure it complies with TCQ rules. And then you'll notice on the agenda tonight under my report and also on your agenda next week with the financial advisor, you'll see language that states, where is it? The resolution authorizing application to the TCEQ. That's a separate resolution that you would need to adopt, and that's kind of the trigger that then allows that application to go to the TCEQ for its review.
That's after the 24th meeting.
You could do it tonight or on the 24th or after the 24th.
Yeah.
So you can approve this Westwood's bond application report pending, engineer, attorney, and financial advisor review, and it won't go to the TCEQ until you approve that resolution that I just mentioned.
Okay,
It's kind of like a little 2 steps.
Okay. But I understand to hear Grant say that he's requesting that we approve submitting the draft to our attorney and financial advisor for one last review. That's one thing. That's what he is asking us to do tonight. And so that's what we will potentially have a motion for here shortly. Y'all are going to do this review in this short time span here. And you're going to find it okay, and then it would be right that we would do the resolution for application after the fact. But what if you in this period of review, what if you find something?
That was my question.
You find something that we need to go back and look at again? What?
If there was something that, one, we've reviewed this probably 3 times already.
Yes, right.
So if there was something that jumped out that was just wildly inaccurate, we would tell the engineer and they would correct it. Again, if you all don't approve the resolution submitting it to the TCEQ, it's not going to go to the TCEQ.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
So it would remain an internal document until.
Okay, so definitely what we need to do is have a motion about recommending submitting the draft to attorney, our attorney, and our financial advisor. That we must do. And then we make a separate motion, yes or no, about going ahead with the resolution?
Correct, it's 2 separate motions.
Okay, all right.
And that we will do on the 24th.
Well, that was the question that was being asked.
It's on your agenda for tonight, and it's also on your agenda for the 24th, so it's flexible.
What's the point of doing it tonight if we have a meeting on the 24th?
So let's go ahead and do it in an orderly fashion. I think what I'm hearing from our engineer, let's go ahead and submit a motion for our attorney, right, to review it, our financial advisor to review it. Then on the 24th would be the motion to submit.
I make a motion that our financial advisor and our attorney review the report and hold it until the next
Tell us.
24th meeting.
Okay. I'll second that.
Okay, second by Carol. Any further discussion on this matter? No? All in favor?
Okay, 4-0. Okay.
All right.
The resolution we will do on the 24th.
Correct.
Well, that's
Resolution on the 24th, which is a special meeting.
Yeah, we just hold it. We don't do any motion right now. Okay. Yeah, Cole, that's what we're going to do then.
Okay. Any further question to our engineer on his report tonight from the board?
Do we have anything, Tom in his public comment mentioned that request that the engineer have a risk-based priority of the projects. Do we have that? I know we did this CIP, what we're supposed to do over the long term. But I'm just asking if we have something that's attached to this bond application that tells us what goes in the first few years and then
That's not part of it.
It's not what?
That's not part of the application.
Right, it's not part of it, but I think for us as directors, it would be important to know, what is required immediately, what is required in the next 2 to 3 years, and what's required after that. That's what I thought the CIP was, that gives us, a direction on how long projects need to take to be done in this district. And also, I didn't see that the replacing freshwater pipes were in the CIP. It was never amended or changed that we needed to do that. So do we have anything in writing? We don't, right?
We do not have
Okay.
separate documents besides the CIP.
Okay, that's all I had, thank you.
Right, anything else? Item 7, new business.
Oh, we still have some finished other items.
Oh, please do.
Sorry, you left item E, right? Still have to cover item F?
Yes.
Okay, go for it, yep.
Apologies for interrupting. The next point is on the 2012 Lake Lane Oaks CMU wall. Westwood inspected the site on November 6th, and the next site visit will take place on Wednesday, May 6th. The next item is on the tracks of land from D.R. Horton. Do you have any update on that?
No, you can remove that item.
Okay. The next point is on the Hatch lift station pump replacement. After discussion with Infomark and the board, it has been determined the pump seal is no longer considered a warranty item. Westwood met with Infomark to ensure that all alarms are functioning at Hatch lift station.
And they are? Everything's good?
That's correct. Next item is the 3210 Red Bay Drive CMU wall. Westwood visited a site in which a CMU wall was reported to be unstable and took pictures. Attached is a memorandum with Westwood's review of the wall. On February 23rd, 2026, a resident contacted Infomark to bring attention to an unstable CMU wall on the back of her property. The resident noted that a large tree branch had been resting on top of the section of wall, and once it was removed, the wall had become unstable. This issue was brought to Westwood the following day. Infomark visited the site on February 25th and noted that the wall is movable but not completely unstable. Attached to this memorandum are the emails received as well as photos provided by Infomark from the site visit on February 25th, 2026. On March 3rd, Westwood visited the site and noted the findings were similar to Infomark's site visit. Westwood requested that Infomark coordinate a review of the wall section with CMU masonry contractor for potential resolutions and a quote for repair. Attached to this memorandum are photos taken from the site visit on March 3rd, 2026.
And he said they contacted you, is that?
We've requested that the contractor that repaired the CMU wall on
Anderson Mill?
Anderson Mill after the car accident go over there to this location to assess what it might cost to repair the section of fence. They have not been able to go out there yet to provide that quote to us.
Okay.
But I mean, I was there personally when the first person that went out there. I mean, you can wiggle the wall a little bit, but you can hear the wall like bumping on the rebar that connects the panels. The resident, I think, was not clear on the stability of the wall. We're still trying to contact the resident because we were only able to assess the wall from the right-of-way side. We were not in the backyard of either resident, and I'm not entirely sure if it's that address or the one next to it that actually has the tree.
And when was this day that you were there?
It was earlier, I think you have it in your notes.
You said something about
Earlier,
February
26th, yeah.
26th? Okay, first visit 25th, and then the second was the 26th, the day after. And so no one has been out there since that time. In your visual observation, do you see it as a danger or potential danger?
I would not consider it a danger. I'm not a.
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot, I mean, but that is something to be considered.
And that's why I went out there as soon as the resident
Okay.
contacted us about it.
So can we get that contractor out there like ASAP?
They've been requested, yes.
Can we speed that up?
I can make a phone call tomorrow.
All right. All right.
Concludes your report?
I have one more point.
Go for it.
This is on the construction on Ranch Market Road 620. Westford reviewed information available from TxDOT in regards to the construction on Ranch Market Road 620 near El Salado Parkway. Attached is a memorandum with that information. We contacted our lead for transportation engineering, and he looked into publicly available TxDOT materials like the TxDOT project tracker, and as far as we are aware right now, that construction is not supposed to start until April 2032.
Yes.
A public meeting in 2023 stated that construction for this section would start in 2027, but this date has since been moved back. This is likely redundant for both construction and right-of-way acquisition. Initially, acquisition was set to begin in 2023, but according to Williamson County Central Appraisal District, none of the parcels have been acquired at this time. The only roadway construction near this area, according to the TxDOT project tracker, is on Anderson Mill. It's a resurfacing project, but other than that, there's no active construction. And that is our final point.
Any further questions on these items? Carol?
No,
Chris? David? Moving on. Item number 7, new business. A, consider hiring contractor for management consulting services. That is your agenda item, so Chris, move forward.
The reason that we have this on here is Infomark's new contract, and correct me if my language gets wrong, does not include certain management services that they have been performing in the past. Okay? Most of these that are remaining on the contract are water, wastewater, and parks. Would that be about it right there?
In general.
In general, okay.
To your physical operations.
Okay. You know, as the board, our directors and not managers, we felt that it was necessary to secure management consulting services to provide those resources needed for the work that Infomark's no longer going to be doing. I had asked Bill Fry, who I had heard was in that business and has been associated with Severn Trent. I don't think, were you ever working for Infomark? No, just Severn Trent, and has worked with our district in the past. I'd asked him to come to the meeting and told him that, you know, he could make a presentation if he'd liked, or he could answer questions from the board. Do you have a presentation?
I have a short
Okay.
presentation. Hopefully not take up too much of your time, and I can introduce myself to everybody here and a little bit about my past. And there's also somebody else here that's from the past.
Right.
Anyway, I'm Bill Fry. I worked at Severn Trent. I never worked for Infomark. That was the company that bought Severn Trent. I left Severn Trent in 2016, and I created Bill Fry Associates, which is a management consulting, operational consulting group. I've got some information I'll get to the board. No reason to make a decision tonight, but I want to kind of tell you what my thoughts are. to help you out. My thoughts are is that I would work hand in hand with your operator, Infomart, and determine what's in their agreement that makes sure there's no overlap of my services with their services. And then we come back together and make a presentation. Here's what I can do that they're no longer going to be planning to do in their contract. And get their contract settled, because I think it's kind of unsettled at the present time.
Yes, yes.
And so that's my proposal is for me to help you guys do that as far as get the contract taken care of. Then we come back and talk about what services do you want me to do, and maybe there's some things that the other consultants would manage, not me manage, right? But I'll also tell you, I'm not looking for a full-time job here. This would be more of a consulting, part-time deal. I do live in Burnett, Texas, which isn't far from here, but also I'm active in the Houston area too, so I'm between the two places, so Austin's fine for me to be available and present as needed. But my history is I started in the business in 1983 as an operator of water and wastewater, and until 2016 with Severn Trent, I moved over to this, and then actually in 2018, I created another operating company for a private utility company, and that private utility company was sold in December of 25. So I am now back to doing my consulting work. And so I let Chris know that I was available if they needed help. So, because I started out as a consultant, then I created the company, and then we ran the company for a while. And it's really not in the resume information I have for you. It kind of stops at when I started in 2017, 2018. So I've got some information that I'll hand out to each one of the board members to have. But the thing is that I'm not here to, like I said, to become a full-time employee or anything like that, but to try to determine what are the needs of the district and what is the needs of the board to help fill the gap, so to speak. That Infomark's not, because I remember our contract when I was at Severn Trent was we were all encompassing.
Right. And
we managed everything. And we took residents' phone calls, and we took care of everything that may have come up, no matter what it was. And then we'd work with our attorneys, so it was kind of a general management.
Except deed enforcement. Y'all opted out on deed enforcement.
Well, that's because y'all run my tail too much about that. That's why I decided deed enforcement was not something we really were professional at doing, and we found somebody who could do
right.
And y'all did that. So thank you for doing that. Okay. So anyway, that's just kind of my past. I worked when Brian was on the board. I will say just an observation. Nothing's changed since I was here. There's still the contingents that, for whatever reason, we're not getting on the same page, and I'd like to help try to mend that as much as I can. Because I remember we tried to do a lot of that mending of the fences, if you so to speak, to make sure everybody understands we're here for the residents. We're here for the taxpayers. You know, our job is to make sure that's getting taken care of, and everybody understands what are the facts, what is the transparency, all those words that everybody wants to hear, and try to, I'm going to say this, and I thought I might not get your favor on this, but politics doesn't need to be a part of this. It just needs to be taking care of business. This is a business that's, you're a government that needs a business that's transparent. Everybody knows who's doing what. There's no question about what his responsibility is, his responsibility, my responsibility, whoever that works for you is taking care of the business. So look at it in a business perspective and not political. So that's my message. But if I can help in any way, I'm going to be available to the board or a committee to sit down and talk about it. But I would like to say that I'd be willing to review the contract and determine what services are no longer being provided by Infomark.
Well, while we have the board here, I would like to, and with Daryl here, I would like to give Bill Fry the opportunity to ask of Darrell and Infomark anything he needs to do this preliminary work, and that you cooperate with him. And of course, if there's ever a question, like if you find a secret document that says, if Bill Fry ever comes to us, don't tell him this, you can ask us about that, okay? But for the most part, work with Bill and help him, come up with a plan that the board can decide if that's what they want to do. Great, appreciate it.
I have a question for you, Mr. Fry,
Yes.
if I may. Can you tell me, in your opinion, or your professional opinion, because you've been in the business so long, what is the main purpose of a MUD and why were MUDs created?
What
What
was created in my mind was to be able to build the infrastructure that was needed that a city can't do.
Correct.
Because you're in an ETJ of a city, and then you have a developer who needs to put in the infrastructure. And so it's also a way it's a financing vehicle, correct if I'm wrong, Mr. Attorney, but it's a financing vehicle to be able to put the infrastructure in and pay it over time. Whereas in a private utility, and I'll just say, MUDs are created differently than a private utility. Private utilities, we have to get all the money up front, because I just got through dealing with that, so I've been on both sides. And it's a different deal, because the rates to the customer go way up.
So would you agree that the main business of the MUD is water? Is that the main business of the MUD?
Well, it's infrastructure, whether it be
Water,
wastewater,
storm runoff?
whatever the infrastructure is of the MUD,
Okay,
it is the responsibility of the MUD.
thank you, sir. That's pretty much it, yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
Thanks, Bill.
I wanted to make I'm sorry.
Carol has a comment to make.
Okay.
I appreciate getting to hear from you. I'm not really going to pose a question to you, but
Right.
I just kind of wanted to clarify something that was said earlier in the evening about how long we have been letting the contract lay dormant, if you will.
Right.
We have not renewed it. We have not been asleep. We have looked at it in great length. We have had conferences with Infomark regarding, okay, I get the lying sign now. Okay, thank you, Linda. Make note of that, please, Attorney. But we went through to discover what are those things that are being pulled out. What are we not going to have under the base contract? Infomark is changing their title. They're no longer calling themselves general manager. They're calling themselves operator in the new contract. And there's a difference, and they have explained why they are taking that route. And so there was a sincere effort to put numbers to what was being pulled out, to put numbers in amounts of money that would have come up to. And the question we heard tonight was approximately $20,000, because your offering of the new contract is right at $20,000 less than what our base contract is right now, which sounds good. It really does. And so even though that contract may be smaller now, then we still have to find a way to take care of those. I believe there was 32 or something of a list of items of something that have got to be taken care of.
Right.
And we will pay for them in those services in some way. Not all of those services appear every month.
Right.
Some of them don't, but some of them do. And so it's been an in-depth study, whether there are those who do not think that we've done
I
that.
think I've mentioned to Chris, and I'm not sure if you were on.
A little bit,
Okay, but I would not exceed $1,000, at least do a preliminary
Okay,
review of this, and then come back with Infomark to
Okay.
do a formal proposal.
So then we need a formal motion if it's gonna cost us some money, don't we,
Yeah,
Cole?
Well,
exactly.
yes,
I'm
yeah.
just saying,
Okay.
I don't know how many hours it's gonna take.
Right.
My hourly rate's $100 an hour. I'm not gonna exceed that number. And if you wanna approve that tonight, that'd be great. If not, I'll hold off on that and we'll come back with a proposal.
I
Either
think
way.
it's not on the agenda, so I think I'd feel more appropriate if we put it on next month's agenda.
It is on the
It is
agenda.
on the agenda.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's under,
It's a
very
hiring
clear,
contract
considering
for
hiring a
management
contractor.
consulting services.
Well,
Yeah. So since this is your agenda item, would you mind formulating a clear motion that would, I'm hearing financial initial
Correct.
amount.
I just want to make sure y'all are clear that there is money involved here, but I'm trying to keep it to a minimum just to get a review done.
Right. And I'm all for this. I think of course I am, yes, right? We have been, the issue is management piece of things, right? We no longer have a general manager of the district, right? Now we have a contract that looks very different. And we need somebody to allow us to see these from a macro level.
Correct.
And make good business sound decision on what would be the best, right, for this district. And so I'm all for engaging at this initial stage of figuring this out, right? And that's why this contract has been lingering, because the conversation has been, we need to sit down along somebody that's a professional, that has had the experience to help us figure this out. As we transition from having now just a contractor, an operator, to someone that can also provide the feedback to manage this district. We're not managers. We're here to govern and make decisions, right? And so I like the idea. So Chris?
I make a motion that we approve an amount not to exceed $1,000 for Bill Fry to do the initial work that he talked about.
I second that.
Okay, Carol has a second.
So
Working with Infomark.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second. Any further discussion?
yes, please.
Carol, do you have anything else? Chris?
No.
Yes.
David?
I agree with you that we are not managers, we are not professionals in the mud world. And I think that you are right that this contract is still out there and not finalized, and we do need a professional to come and look at what are we losing, where do we need to be. But my question is, he's just gonna present what we need to do moving forward that Infomark's not going to do for us. And then later on, we're gonna decide how to go about that, right? We're not saying that we're hiring an independent contractor to handle those tasks. He's just gonna
In this
let
initial phase, that's right.
Please. He's just gonna tell us, these are the items that Infomark is no longer doing. And I'm guessing that you would give us your professional suggestion on how to go about doing those things.
Correct.
It's not necessarily saying that you're gonna do them, but it's stating that these are the, and I agree that we need some professional eyes that have been in the industry so many years to guide us in that, because yes, we are not professionals in water management companies. If that is the parameters that he's just gonna work with Infomark to get us a list of what they no longer will be doing and what we need to continue and hire out, or then I'm in agreement with that, and yeah.
That is the goal, by the way. I just want to interject. The goal is to determine what you need and then make recommendations of whether you want to hire a full-time to take care of all of those items, because I don't know what those items are, or if you want to do a contract management services. I'm not proposing either one at this point. I'm just saying, let me figure out what you have with what Infomark's not going to do, and then what needs to be done, and probably work with a committee would be great after we get together.
And there's still a motion here, but we have been in conversation for a very long time around the idea of having an actual W-2 employee that works for this district as a manager, right? And so, yeah, we need to look at this from various angles, right? We want to look at it from a legal perspective, from your professional perspective, as well as from a financial perspective, right? We want to make sound financial decisions. So, and you made it very clear, you're not seeking a full-time employment with us, nor a part-time employment with us. But what I'm hearing also that you can recommend the possibilities of either entering into some sort of general management contract or recommending other parties to do that.
Correct.
At this stage. Okay.
Correct.
Very clear to me.
Would you be willing also to recommend finding a a contractor such as Infomark that does everything?
Well, I'll say this at this point. You can put that proposal out there for general management services. Your operator could still be Infomark, it could be some other company that does the general management services.
No, well, I'm talking about replacing Infomark with somebody that does everything like they did before. Like, who does that? Crossroads does that, for example.
I got you.
Okay, that's all. I just want to make sure they're
But
considered.
I don't know what all we gotta talk about.
Okay.
We gotta have that.
Well, I don't want to exclude that, though.
No, I'm not saying exclude that.
Okay, okay.
I'm just saying, we're gonna come up with a list of all the things that they're not going to do.
Right.
And then you on a committee, or we with Infomark say, they're not doing these things, so here's, what do you wanna do to make sure these things get covered?
Right.
Do you wanna put it out for proposal, or do you wanna hire somebody to take care of all those things? Yeah. And I've seen it both ways.
Right, okay.
All right, so we have a motion. Any further questions or discussion?
Elizabeth wanted to make some comment?
Sure, go for it. Yeah, Elizabeth, yep.
Elizabeth, are you ready?
She's not there.
Elizabeth?
So will you approach and, can I have a copy of your card?
Yes. Is that Elizabeth Reeves?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is my.
Thanks for coming.
This is Lisa Rickard. I don't know if you can hear any of us.
We can hear you, Lisa.
We hear you.
Yes, we
I
can now.
can.
Okay,
We can hear you now, Elizabeth.
okay, perfect. So there may be a delay because on the video that's online, it still shows Bill talking.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that I'm not over speaking on people.
No, you're not.
Okay, so for clarity, I worked with Bill for 19 years, so I have no issues sitting down and talking about the contract with him. And just for full disclosure, the reason there is such a lower rate is not so much of what we aren't going to do, but it's lessening the amount of time of the dedicated employees that have been invoiced to WTCMUD1. For example, utilizing Reese for 50% of the time versus 100%. Also, not having the field tech fully dedicated to that project. So, and there are some things that I have, disclosed that if I review a contract, any contract for the district is also going to have to be reviewed by your attorney because he is your legal. So I felt like that portion of the contract did not need to be included. Therefore, that's part of some of the services that we removed. We are your operator, so we are looking more at water, sewer, and drainage. That is the purpose of the majority of our contract. However, we do not have an issue with, handling the items for the trash day or the special trash pickup or anything like that. But I just wanted to say, I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I'm ill and running a fever, so I'm sure you didn't want me there in person. However, I'll be happy to sit down and speak with Bill and we can hammer this out.
Great.
All right, well, thank you. All right, so let's vote on this motion. Seconded by you, all in favor? I have some question to this. Do we want to set up a committee so that we can work with Bill and Infomark and ensure that we get all of the data, all of this information?
We need to with the committee.
Yeah.
Nice for us.
Right, yeah, for sure. Usually Beth sets the committees.
Yeah, well, she's not here, so you're
she's not
doing
here.
it.
Okay, so, Carol, do you want to be in this committee?
I will gladly do that, but however, what is appropriate to do, you know?
Chris, you've been in this district for, what do you recommend that we do?
I think Carol and I could do it.
Carol and you both can do it?
Yeah.
Okay. You feel comfortable with that?
Fine.
All right. So you two are going to be the committee for,
Right.
all right. So can you notate that? Make a note of that. So, yeah.
And
All right.
Cole has asked me to send him a written proposal of what I said. I will send that to him.
Great.
Make sure it's in his minutes.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Awesome. All right. Next agenda item, consider resolution authorizing application to the Texas Commission of Environment and Quality. I think we're going to do this on the 24th. Correct. We're going to move that to the 24th. General Manager's report.
Thank you, Noah. Fairly simple report this month, starting off with the water accountability. It does seem like we dropped in February to 76% accountability. The streetlight survey was done February 20th. No outages were found to report to PDC. The pond inspection was completed February 18th, and the report is being finalized. As far as billing, there were 123 delinquent letters mailed, 89 tags hung, and 10 residents were disconnected. As far as customer requests, there's none to report. As far as programs that are going on in the district, you may have noticed there's some construction there at Anderson Mill West. That's the park improvements and repairs to both the equipment and the fall safety that's going on right now. That should be wrapped up here. Unfortunately, it was supposed to be completed last week, but with the rain that we received, it pushed them back because they were hoping to have finished by spring break. But that should be wrapped up this week, probably maybe Thursday, if not Friday. Park Protec is still awaiting some of the parts that they need to replace some of the horseshoe climbers that were damaged just from age and sun. So that's still in progress. Lane Care did get the boulder that was hit by a car in an accident off of the sidewalk. So that's been completed. The gentleman with Mr. Intensity went back out to the Madeline Loop Pond. He was out there two months ago, I believe, to get rid of some graffiti. We told him that the graffiti was all along it was the eastern edge of the pond. There was still some on the other side that we weren't aware was over there. So he went out to take care of that other section that had graffiti that he just wasn't made aware of it. We didn't make him aware of it. But that was completed just earlier this week. Wastewater Transport Services.
Sorry, did I stop you? Have you made a police report on all these graffitis? They're deed restriction signs. Apparently they don't like them. We've made police reports on all these events.
I don't believe that we've...
Can we make police reports on these events, please? Thanks. Continue.
I think Beth has made a couple,
Okay.
but as far as the others, no. Like they're in the pond, no.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Wastewater Transport Services was out the last couple days doing the deep cleaning on the lift stations. I believe they completed all of that today. If not, they'll be back out tomorrow to finish those. As far as items for board consideration, obviously I think our PSA is on being deferred for right now. We still have the 2 quotes that we would recommend for the repairs at the Cashel Wood Pond and Anderson Mill Pond that y'all deferred last month. There's actually a list of, I think, 9 different items at the different ponds, but these two they're all level 3 severity, so the lowest severity there is. But these two we kind of recommend more so than the others. So have those quotes still from last month that we recommend.
And what are those? Can you say, do you have those before you right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The Cashel Pond is $3,602, and the Anderson Mill Pond is $1,976. The Anderson Mill Pond, that includes replacing 5 of the disc golf kind of rubber pads that are just aged and in need of repair. And then also trimming some vegetation and low-hanging trees from the horseshoe and washer pit areas. The Cashel Wood Pond was repairing erosion that was down in the basin, and then also clearing out some vegetation so that the pond flows as it should. There was also a quote brought back from the infrastructure committee call about repairing the controller on the generator. There was a electrical issue that PEC fixed just last week, I believe it was. But while that lift station was down, the generator was unable to automatically start up because of this controller issue. So we had not only one of our operators out there, but we had to call in wastewater transport services to be on the ready so the lift station didn't overflow. Alterman was able to, I believe, come out and assess it, or I'm sorry, not Alterman, but PEC was able to come out and repair the issue within a couple hours. So there was no overspill or anything like that, but it just kind of highlighted the need to kind of get that generator controller fixed prior to the whole thing being replaced during the lift station improvement, which could happen through the bond system for bond funding. That quote was $2,721.04 to repair that.
We've talked about this already, so we were just kind of waiting on that quote, correct?
No, we had previously presented the quote,
Yes.
And it was kind of discussed that, well, the whole thing's going to be replaced, through the lift station rehab. So maybe we don't need to spend that $2,700. But with this recent incident, it kind of
I think it's wise to have,
shine a light on the issue.
I don't want it,
Yeah,
biohazard all over the place.
yeah.
And the last item that I had from last month, I didn't have the estimate. Part of your MS4 recommendation was to send out a bill insert as part of your stormwater solutions plan for the year. And the estimate for that bill insert is like $140 because it'll get printed and mailed with the invoices for anyone that gets a paper bill, and it'll be attached if anyone's on e-service.
Okay, so should we start making motions on this? David, do you have a motion on the
I don't,
controller?
because I don't have that report in front of me.
Okay.
I don't have an iPad, so.
All right, at least the controller, I think, it sounds like that needs to be repaired.
Absolutely.
So I move that we approve the quote as presented for the replacement of or repair of the controllers in the amount of $2,721.
I'll second that.
Okay, David seconded it. Do we need to have further discussion about this?
I don't have anything.
No? All in favor? Thoughts on the other two, on these item level 3 item stuff? What are we thinking?
The level 3, that is a task that I wonder if our landscaper would be able to handle cleaning out those debris area. Since they're down there and they cut and they mow, since they're already there, what would they charge us just to get a quote, just to see what they'll charge us compared to Infomart? If it's comparable, we can decide then. But, just to give us a ballpark, just to see it.
there, in addition to just the vegetation and stuff like on the cash outlet, it's repairing the gabing.
I know,
wall,
the gabing wall would be
stuff.
separate, yeah,
So-
yeah, but all the sediment and all that, I really would wonder what land care would charge us to take care of that while they're there. Cause obviously in reports, if you go back through all the pictures, you can see month after month after month, the sediment is there, and it's actually some part of our MS4, isn't it? The sediment that,
Maintaining the.
yeah, maintaining it, so, I think it would be wise to get just a quote from them and say what they would charge to take care of that. Just my opinion, just.
Yeah.
Well, that
Any
sounds
idea?
reasonable. Sounds reasonable. But the question is the repair of the screening or whatever you call it.
The gabing wall?
Yeah, the wall stuff,
that-
can we go ahead separate? Or, I mean, is that something, you're not saying that land care can do that? Somebody.
Correct, I'm not saying, I don't know.
Yeah, somebody else would have to do that. Can we get,
Separated, absolutely.
okay.
I can
And-
have land care go by and take a look at the items at both of these locations to see what they would charge.
Okay.
To
To clean them, because that's what they would do.
And see if they could do it like in conjunction with one of their service dates, so we're
Yeah,
not
so we're not
setting up
doing that.
separately.
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming most of this charge, the $3,000 and the $1,000 one, I'm assuming that this is primarily for replacement of the actual part that needs to be replaced, correct? Not necessarily much for the cleaning, but
Is the
Oh,
gabing
cash
wall,
out,
they're
cash
gonna
out.
pull out the whole section and lay it back down, or are they just rewiring it?
They're repairing the broken.
Just the broken one, so they're kind of rewiring what is already there, so it's not, like they're taking the whole, stitching it up, okay. Yeah, so the gabing, everybody know what a gabing wall is?
I don't have
So a
any-
gabing wall is just really a bunch of wire basket that they put rocks in, so it filters, and it holds things in place, right?
It keeps the
Yeah.
water back.
Yeah.
There's a
Um,
storm surge.
So it's just like a mesh that's filled with rocks that hold everything back. It's a very structural, but yeah, I think they look cool.
and we're not running the risk of something being clogged and then something else being affected that's gonna end up wasting a lot of more money.
Immediately, no.
No,
If
okay.
it's delayed, like, got another customer and they put these things off and put things off. And then when they get a really big storm event, there is a danger that those
Could
gabing
move a
walls
little
are gonna
bit.
give.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
So,
So what I'm hearing is that, because you gave us a quote, are you gonna separate out that quote for you to do the gabing wall and then just ask Landcare if they actually even do it? Because it is a landscaping thing that landscapers do sometimes, so.
yeah, I can
Thank you.
separate that out.
Thank you, sir.
And then if you just would provide a motion for the bill insert to
Yeah.
complete, to comply with the MS4 requirement.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion for that? $140.
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Do you have
For
that
the insert,
call for the insert? Okay.
The MS4, the insert.
the MS4 insert for an amount of $140.
Motion
Okay.
by Rocco.
Do we have a second?
Yeah, I made it.
Yep.
Carol,
You
second.
Second. I'll
Okay.
second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Okay. So the only items you're really deferring are the two Infomark items, just separate out those quotes. Okay, we'll see that next month. And I think Lisa wanted to speak as well.
She just wanted to clarify, on the consent agenda, was that one check pulled or was that being retained into the?
It was retained.
It was,
Yeah.
it was retained.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, in relation to the check, can y'all repeat what the question is about it? It's made out to the Texas Rural Water Association, and what was the question about it?
So the question was it ever discussed in a board meeting and was there a formal vote to go ahead and join this association? My recollection and going back to the minutes, I found that what we motioned was to join CASE. That was the only motion I could find in all the minutes. So that, I wanted to hold it so the next meeting we can discuss it, make a proper motion to join, and then move forward. But that was denied, so.
Okay, I understand. I just wanted to add a little more information for you, David. It was an invoice that came back as a renewal. You all belonged to it last year, and so it's an automatic that, for the organization to send a renewal letter. And so
Okay.
we present that to the committee as we do all, invoices that come. And so, I'm just letting you know that.
Thank you,
was,
Lisa. Would you be able to send me last year's invoice for that, please? And, let's say the last 3 years, because I don't recall in the last 7 years of us being part of that association. So if you could just send me that paperwork on the check and the invoice that we joined that, thank you.
Sure. If I may, President Avia, I just had one other item that I wanted to speak of relating to financials, and it came out of a conversation with the committee, the invoice committee. Would that be okay for me to
Yes, go
just
for
make
it.
a comment?
Go for it.
Thank you.
And by the way, before you head there, can you please, when you sent that information that indeed shows that it is a renewal, because of course Ms. Fobb is saying you're lying, so I just want to make sure for the public purposes that you're not lying, that this is indeed a renewal. Thank you.
Okay.
You may proceed.
Yeah, well, we have it coded from last year too. Okay, what I wanted to speak to was how you pay your bills. This came up during the committee meeting when we were going over the invoices, and I know you did a consent agenda, but there were several items that were checks that had to be reissued because those checks were lost. And I'm sure if you hear the news or read the paper or TV, there's been a lot of theft of checks in the mail, and the Postmaster General of the United States does not even recommend putting checks in the mail himself. So we discussed the concept of using ACH origination, and the committee seemed interested in it. It is something I'm definitely moving towards with a lot of clients. And I would like the opportunity to talk about it. If we could put it on the agenda for next month, and I could also provide the attorney with all the information that we use that replaces the concept of directors approving expenses by signing a check. So I was just asking if that would be okay with the board for us to consider that, and I think it's going to save you in a lot of ways. Number one, you won't have those lost checks anymore. Number two, you won't have to courier checks to the meeting. And then I can explain in detail how that ACH origination works and from the bank's perspective and how safe it is for your district.
All right, so we'll have that as an agenda item for our next meeting.
Yes.
Cole, have you
We got
communicated
it.
that?
We
Okay,
got it.
good. All right, moving on.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Daryl, are you done with your report?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions, any comments,
Did we
anything
get
else?
everything from him that we needed
Good.
to? Yeah, I think we did.
All right, moving on to item number 9, committee assignments and reports. And we will start with Parks Committee, including discuss needed repairs.
Update on
You are.
You are the person.
You are.
Right, so any updates on the repairs, needed repairs?
Just the ones that I've already covered about the Anderson Mill West that's currently under construction right now with the fall safety repairs, and then also some of the equipment repairs, and then the Park Road Plus that has parts that are still on back order.
Okay. Any needed update of any, we're doing all of the replacement. You and I have been in conversation about ensuring that we protect. So can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, just working with Park Road Tech when they come out to do their quarterly safety inspections. Haven't received a report in a couple months, so probably we'll be getting a new one soon. I'll try and reach out to him to let him know about the repairs and everything that are going on right now. So hopefully maybe he can schedule his next inspection after this week to include all the new equipment and everything. And the only other item that the contractor kind of noted when I went by there this evening was that we might need to refresh again some of the mulch to get it into a deeper depth.
Okay.
Just to also help protect the board in place when it goes down the edges of those kind of items and things like that.
Okay. We'll talk about that then. Yep, excellent. So update of the 5-year park plan and splash pad for Anderson Mill West Park, and take possible action on accepting a proposal.
I think that's a carryover from last month from Beth.
That's maybe that report. You want to say anything about it?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it, or?
That's up to you.
Okay. I would just notate the fact that, so there has been information going around again that this splash pad, it's something that Beth came up with all of a sudden. And that we are using the bond that we're using for the purpose of just pouring money into this project. This park plan and this conversation around splash pad was way before this board. We are just following a park plan in place. There has been a lot of conversation about this that doesn't really, want to make it clear, bond doesn't have anything to do with parks. Number one, we're not using bond money to repair parks, nor we're using bonds to use our savings to repair parks. That is not true. There's a clear park plan in place that has been put in place for some years now, and we are just trying to follow that park plan. Many residents were involved in this decision, so we're still in the consideration process. Information is going around that we're installing this. That is pure lie. That's lying. Not true.
You should hold up a sign, Hanoi.
What?
I said you should hold up a sign.
I don't need a sign. What I'm saying, that is politics. That's lying. We're still in the discovery phases. Again, this is not up to Beth. This is up to the board to decide. And we're taking the time to consider this. That's all I have to say.
I would probably, if I may. The park plan is on the website. It is available for anyone to read. It's a rather lengthy document. Actually, Appendix A has 172 pages in it alone. It alone describes what efforts were made to get public comment, public input, and that's what it is. It's a gathering of information, and we worked with a company to help us with this, and the document was developed from that. Splash pad is an idea that was brought in by the public. Yes, it's in there, but as the park plan, as the advisory committee worked with the board members of the time, that was put down the list, I suppose is a way to say it, but the idea was it would be reviewed and it would be studied in terms of cost, safety, what it would mean to have such a facility within within one of our parks. It is by no means something at this time that this board would be bringing forth as something to spend money on, if you will. Quite frankly, if it were a vote this right now, Ms. Fobb, I wouldn't vote for it, okay? So.
The agenda is misleading.
Excuse me.
It's not for you to determine that.
So,
continue.
Trying to be brief, the park plan is there. It's a good plan. It was a tremendous amount of public input for that. The first phase of it was, I was on the advisory committee. David was on the advisory committee.
I was not.
Excuse me, David, you toured with us on the very first event as we toured each park. We toured each park.
Correct. You're right, but I wasn't on the committee. I went one time to participate. That's it.
Okay, keep going.
And you were welcome to. I welcomed you
You
gladly.
stated that I was on the committee. I was not on the committee. I was just a resident.
Excuse me, David, let me speak. Let me finish. Let
clarify.
me finish. You can speak after me. I don't mind that at all. But certainly, I was very welcoming to you. No one was denied being on that committee. It was an open committee, and people did participate. You participated that day. You toured at every stop, at every park, and you were the one taking pictures. You were the one who got in the lady's face, okay? Now, in terms
Point of order, that is incorrect. That is.
Now, as I was present, David, myself, when I discovered that you were filming me, I just made a comment. I said, oh, David will at least get my good side. That's all I said to you. But my point is this. That was the very first thing we did. We made the tours from park to park with meetings with people. The one lady who left was frightened. I'll leave it at that. And she quit offering face painting to the children at that time. But that was just the first event that we had of trying to get the public's input of what did they want from their parks.
Hold on for a minute. Can you stop disrupting this meeting?
I'm not disrupting.
Yes, you are. You need to lower your voice. You are being disrespectful to one of our board members. So I ask you to refrain from whispering and laughing. Okay?
I'm not being
All right.
disruptive.
I'm just telling you.
I'm
That's
telling
it.
you I'm not being disruptive.
Keep going.
That was the first avenue of getting public comment. Okay. After that, we had, I believe that the next step was we had the community meetings were by sections within the MUD, in various sections of the MUD, and we had meetings right here in this building, and the public was invited to participate in those meetings. And for the most part, they all went very well, and we had good input from the public in those. I believe the next thing that was developed with Verdinity, I never say their name right, the company that was working with us, was a survey that was posted on our website, was made available in another avenue as well, for the public to provide their input. And I believe there was one more effort after that. But then through the company that was working with us, all this data was organized, and you can see that in Appendix A, Appendix B. The comments that were gathered from the survey, etc., as well as their open comments that they made at that time. And so it wasn't that somebody decided one day we're going to do all this. It was a genuine effort to hear from the public. That's what it is, and that's what it is now. And a part of that, on that plan, was the idea of a splash pad. And that's where it sits. And it wouldn't materialize even at any date until at first there was extensive study of what the impact would be, what it would cost first to put it in, where it would be, the cost of running it, maintaining it, providing, thank you, that to provide safety issues and so forth. So this has nothing to do with the bond proposal. The bond proposal is an avenue of discussion, and I hope that many people will attend to the next weekly meeting as to clarify what it is for, what it will cost. It has to do with infrastructure that is old, that previous boards apparently didn't take care of, okay? They postponed or made ways of repairing whatever, and there's things that should perhaps been done before now. So those are points of discussion to consider, and so please come to the next one.
Okay, thank you.
And I would like to also direct you to page 40 of the report. It's very clear. Conduct an in-depth research into a range of water play options to gain, and you can read from there. So again, we're just not coming up with this idea of a splash pad. It's been there, part of the park plan. The problem is that it's been used as a political idea, just to basically say this current board is using this, right, and confusing the public. Again, do your research, right? Just do your research. Again, ultimately, we're gonna look at this at every angle, and then we'll make a decision, right? There still has to be discussion with insurance. This is a lengthy process. So the fact that, again, it's going around that we're installing a splash pad all of a sudden, it's not true. It's pure lying, okay? So that's all I have to say. Chris.
Just ditto everything you said.
Okay. David.
Thank you. I kind of have to disagree that, well, I will agree that the park has nothing to do with the bonds the money of the bonds. But you really have to question is, if we're spending money on parks and other items in this district, we're taking away that money from possible repairs. If we use that money for the study of the splash pad and all these nice, beautiful things that some board members want more than others, though that money can be used towards infrastructure. My primary goal on this board, and it always will be, is infrastructure, spending the money on infrastructure first, maintaining our parks, but not dumping tons and tons of money into our parks where it takes priority over infrastructure. My priority is fresh water, wastewater, and storm runoff water is my priority, and I will always spend the money there first before any other thing, and I will always go with that. And, do your research, I agree, and, the public can see that phase 1 has not been completed, phase 2 has not been completed, and has not jumped on the agenda at all, but all of a sudden phase 3 has jumped on the agenda. So I think we should be focusing on phase 1, 2 before we even talk about phase 3. And right now, knowing that we have these critical things that have to be done in our district, it should be a time to pause. It should be a time to say, okay, what's more important? So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
And I want to make it very clear, and if you can speak into this, it is legally impossible to use bond money to repair parks, correct? That's also a lie, that repair our parks.
Yeah, this district does not have the authority to spend bond funds on recreational facilities.
Right, that's another element of lying around this community, is that we're using bond money to repair parks. Not true.
No.
But you're using tax revenue to fix parks, so that revenue could go towards fixing infrastructure that would take away the amount of money needed for the bonds.
Is there any way you can put, and it's on the website, park plan is on the website for the public to see, right? And how long has that been in there? You've been with us forever. How long have we had?
It was there before, I got here, and this will be 5 years coming in November.
So 5 years. It's not a board member, a current board member matter. We're just trying to follow a plan.
It's just driven by a board.
Okay, David, that is your opinion. And you're entitled to that.
And I'm entitled to that.
Absolutely, you're entitled to that.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
All right. So we will table this again. What the update's going to be. Number 3, discuss amending park rules and membership rates. I think that's a Beth agenda item, or who is?
Correct, that's Beth as well.
Beth
Yeah.
item, yep. So we're going to table that as well,
Okay.
next meeting. Information Management Committee. Anything?
Well, just a brief update is, yes, we are looking at it. We are looking at some back minutes, some back documents, and the determination of things that are on our web. Are they done? Are they over with? Do they need to be moved to an archive or something of that sort? Or are they something that is ongoing? If it was a resolution or whatever the title is used on it, is it something still in effect? And it's quite hard to find all the things that are there. It's an extensive reading. Done that a fair amount, and we have also we've tried to make contact with our current contractor to have has that been scheduled yet? We have not been able to get that done.
We have found out that there are things on the website that are incorrect.
Okay.
And in other words, when we've gotten emails from residents saying, you're doing this, and the website says you're supposed to be doing that, there are some things that are that way, but there's also the instance where the website is incorrect and it needs to be corrected. But we are looking at correcting the website, and that could be a new contractor, or it could be using the current one at, what's the name of the company? Touchstone.
Yes,
and
Touchstone.
getting them to update it.
And I don't know, we need to make a bigger effort to get a meeting set. Can you help us with that in any way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
came up and touched on?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we had one,
Y'all wanted to meet?
we had one way back, it's been a long while back, and I remember in the discussion at that time, he was explaining about, well, this will cost a great deal of money and that won't,
He
you
was
know.
trying to sell us a big
And
redo.
so, we need to get back to him and see what he is actually willing to do as we are paying him now.
Right.
And see where we can go with that. We are looking at an extensive amount of documents, I will say
Right.
that, Cole,
The-
quite a lot.
The last time you met with him, was that virtually, or did he drive in?
It was a phone conference that we
Yeah.
had last time, yeah.
Is that what you want again?
That'd be fine.
Virtual is fine, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that committee's Carol and Chris?
Yeah, it's us.
Just double check.
Yeah. I mean, this is a massive job, y'all.
I think that's incorrect on the website as well.
Probably.
It
Well,
says
is it?
it's Hanoi and Carroll.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And it's never been annoying, Carol.
Well, I'm there. And I will tell you, I'm reading, I am. And certainly one of the residents provides me with an extensive amount of information, and I read those emails and I follow them. I'm trying to track everything that he has offered, and I find that some of the things he has offered says that it's in amendments of XYZ date and year, and I go to that, and it's not the item that he has said. And so that's, therein is a backup for me to move on to the next of it, But I am using that, so whatever with that resident who has sent me that, I am using it, and to see what he says that he has found. So,
I have a question
Sure.
for both of you. Have y'all considered the possibility of changing our current website person and perhaps engaging somebody with a PR person that also
Yes,
offers
yes, we
website
have.
information?
Yeah, we've
Because the
looked at-
massive amount of misinformation in this district coming out of,
That's a very
It's
good point. I
terrible.
was kind of hoping that we could include that to be one thing that Bill Fry could look at.
okay, yes, if you can add that, that would be
Yes,
amazing.
yes, that was on my list.
People are confused. I mean, it's an ongoing confusion in this community, and I think we need to have that information up to
Right,
date.
I agree.
and David, if you have some discoveries that you would like to send to me, I would be happy to receive them. And have no problems with receiving them from anybody. I would like the idea, quite honestly, of having a tech smart person that can sit down and work on our website, who knows how to do more than I know how to do. And there are some out there. There are some in our MUD residences in our MUD who are skilled people who would like to be a volunteer, and perhaps some that would like to be an employee.
I
But
think that's a great idea.
You
I
know.
think we should open up the committee meetings to the public, and if they want to join in, and record it as well, so everybody can be involved.
well, some thoughts to consider. Okay. All right. We are working on it. So.
Well, thanks for all the work and the effort. Budget committee.
We've talked with Artesia about formally changing the budget, moving money around, and we want the board to think about whether we want to do it on a period of time, like semi-annually, quarterly, or do we want to do it as money requires? And I think that's for the board to discuss. Tisha, Lisa suggested that it should be something that we could, we're not too far away from July now with the 26-27 budget to start that process there and formalize it. But that's all we've done so far.
I would like to bring up to the committee's attention that I have not seen the correct amounts in the deed restriction attorney line. It doesn't show, it doesn't reflect, so if you could please look into that and see if that is correct. That is, I'm just concerned that the correct numbers are not being captured in that line item. Thank you.
I would just comment about this is that my past experience, which absolutely means nothing, but it is what it is. Most of the places that I've been involved with did not do just all the time changing the budget. Periodically, they would go in and make the needed changes. Let's say that would be quarterly or more than that, but keeping track of where they need to make changes. It is a process to make changes when you're moving money around.
Can I ask what sparked this conversation of readjusting the budget, Chris? Director Rocco, what sparked it?
It was been brought up at previous meetings.
Okay.
Maybe you didn't attend those.
All right, Information Management Committee, Budget Committee's done, Deed Restriction Committee.
Anything to report?
Okay. Waste Management Committee?
I told Paul at Waste Management that we would not be using their roll-off for a spring cleanup, that they do a good enough job during the year. He was fine with that.
Yeah, it was a debacle last year.
Yes, it was.
So I don't think there's any need to do that. Okay, Open Records Committee. Any updates on the massive amount of money spent on this committee, on this open records?
Cole has provided us a written report tonight. I have briefly looked at it, and I really have not been able to pay much attention to it. One of the things I did note, and I had discussed this with you, Cole, when we were reviewing bills, that the cost has risen extremely. Our bill this time for PIR work is, let me get the right page. Our bill for the PIR work is $9,556.98. So that's an expenditure that PIR work by our attorney has cost this time. And Cole, I had pointed out to you that there were 2 or 3 items on your other bill, your standard bill, because we do get another cost from Cole, from the attorney. There were items on there that are directed at PIR.
So some of those, if there's one occasional one that's in the .1 account, the general, that should be into the, so the way we have it separated is we have anything regarding PIRs, we bill to the .2 account, which is we just show you work that's involved. That includes PIRs and responding to PIRs from members of the public. It includes if we have to do research on certain matters, drafting letters to the Attorney General's office, any type of information that involves PIR, we just put onto that account just to show you the work that's involved. All the time on that account, so within that, whatever the amount was for the month, within that amount, all the entries that are, responded to person X's PIR or whatever, those times that those line items, those are charged to the customer, or the resident, I should say, who makes the PIR. So, they have kind of, for lack of better words, an allowance of how many hours they're allowed before the district can monetarily charge them each month and year. So that time is reflected in the timesheets that we send the requesters. And so the PIR time that you have on there were some requests that we received that required hours of work going through and redacting. That time was allocated to the particular requesters in that case. So it counts against their allowance of what they have on the month of the year. Those types of requests, I'll say, the ones that take 4, 5, 6 hours are far and few between. We don't have many of those. Most of the requests are all under an hour, at least from our office. But again, we ask Artesian and Westwood and Sage for their time as well spent on it. So what I'm trying to say is, the bill looks large. It's not going to be that large. Also, this was Brittany's first month as well, so she was doing a lot of work with trying to put a lot of work goes into creating the spreadsheets that we have. That's not stuff that we can charge the requesters, right? Sure. We have to, when we keep up with these additional spreadsheet requests, that's time spent as well. So, all that to say, I don't anticipate that PIR bill, being similar months on end. I mean, of course, if we get 100 PIRs in a month, then that's going to be probably close to the same, but I anticipate it going down lower. We just had some very high volume, large requests.
Yeah, very hopeful.
I'm
Yeah.
very hopeful. Well, but on average, I would say your PIR bill is around that $2,000 mark.
Well,
I think.
as I say, this was when we got the things to work with on bills and invoices, I went, wow. Both of your bills were much larger. And I do find some on your other bill, and I talked to you about them, where your discussion was just as you say, and I understand that and accept that. But however, there are some of them where I think it relates to a single person. And so.
If it's a PIR, it gets charged to that PIR person. It's probably mine, and so it's my line item. I just, instead of putting it under the .2
Okay.
account, I throw it under.
Well, that's fine. I mean, we pay your bill regardless of where
Yeah.
you get your full payment. But as I say, there were 2 or 3 items that I questioned whether they should have been
and at any time,
on that
bring
side.
them up to us
And we
can
talked about it.
explain
We talked
yeah.
about it. But as I say, the bill for PIRs this time was over $9,000.
And for how many people from the public?
I think there are 4. It's hard to.
5.
4 or 5. Basically, there are 4 or 5. The report this time came in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people this time. This is the report for 5 people here. So that's the work, basically, that you're looking at here. So.
Cole, I have a question for you. So we have a statutory, there's a
Correct.
statute in place to prevent this massive amount of money and burden on the district.
Correct.
And I know this may sound like a dumb question, but because there's no evidence to prove this, but I'm pretty certain that the behavior is very. Let me refrain from what I'm going to say, but there's definitely intent to circumvent rules, and so therefore there's an individual that constantly causes most of the expense for this district, but there's this like, well, I've reached my limit, can you go and ask for this information, and can you go ask for this information?
So, can an individual ask other people to do their bidding, basically? There's no way for me to know whether that is what happens behind
Right,
the
and I'm not
scenes.
asking you to define that, I'm just saying
It's possible.
it is possible.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
definitely possible. I'll say
Well-
this, there's only maybe 1 or 2 people on there that are anywhere remotely close to the statutory limit.
Because I'm finding this very closely. A lot of the information that was not given to a person, it ends up being on a website that we all know about here, Mudication, Mudication or whatever, which is you, right? And information that she didn't ask for, all of a sudden appears there from another source.
So then it could be from another requester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
get it.
can another requester provide, yes, yeah, I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
It's public information, the person can share it with whoever they please. And it is the right of the public to ask for this information, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, it is. So,
I totally agree.
why are we making, it feels like you are making this a political game to see how much money this individual asks for, and let me total it up and make a big deal about it every meeting, so I can call her out and I can, make her look bad. That's what I see. That's what.
And you do know that I have the
my
right to ask
perspective.
questions, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank
and
you.
I'm speaking right now, so
Thank
please
you.
don't interrupt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just want to
You
clarify
had your
that.
chance to speak. Thank you. And so that's what it really looks like. Perspective is very important, and people see things. People are not blinded. And it is the right of the public to hold our government accountable. Why are we punishing our public, our constituents that are asking for information and that want to hold us accountable? Why are we making it like it's bad? It's not. I encourage it. And I encourage more people to step up and ask questions, because if this MUD board was so transparent and gave the information, it costs more money to keep things secretly than it is just to release it. Okay? So if a resident asks for the same thing every month, wouldn't you be like, gee, maybe we should put that out there before they ask? Wouldn't that be helpful to the resident? Wouldn't this be it just, to me, it's just common sense. If a person asks for the same thing every month, preparing for a meeting, ready to be educated when they come and speak, why wouldn't you allow them to have that information without a PIR? It's because you want to hold them to that PIR, you want to add up their hours, you want to make them run out, and you don't want to give them the leniency of giving them that information. So, it looks bad, it really does.
Yeah, I do have a
Thank
comment.
you.
I want to make a comment. All of that information is posted online.
Not at
Most
the
of
time
the
you
information, it's a lot of emails, like basically wanting to know all of the information over email, which again, the public is entitled to that. But it's records years back. There's this consistent, ongoing, just draining and of money. But anyways, at the end of the day, it's
Just step down if you don't like it.
I'm not stepping down. At the end of the day, it's your money.
It's our money.
And so, we just want to also be transparent of the massive amount of money that one individual is costing this district.
It's directed in that avenue.
Okay, moving on. Sorry, you have to say something. Go
Well,
ahead.
just briefly, there's no bad statements made here. There's a little emotion involved, but there's no bad statements being made here. David is right. That is public information, and the public is entitled to it. I believe we make an effort to make everything clear. The web of the past has some dark holes in it. You can't find stuff. That's coming back to cleaning up our website. And so some of the things that are asked for are of the past. And so that makes time spent hunting for things. To ask for how many emails did Carol get about whatever, okay, fine. I mean, I don't mind sharing that, but there's redacting that has to go on because of the protecting the public in the light. We do not share emails. We do not share addresses, that sort of thing. And so, but as far as what I get, I don't mind that at all in any sense, but it takes time to do that. And so I do know from gathering information in other ways in other places that there is no mud in the state of Texas, and there's over 900 of them, y'all. But all the MUDs in the state of Texas, no one has even remotely close to the number of PIRs that we have. And so, okay, well, look that one up for me. Okay. She'll get a report. Okay, thank you much.
Thank you. Chris, anything?
No.
All right, so Security Committee.
Was there discussion last month about hiring new security? Was that last month's discussion?
We're not talking about that. So I'm in the Security Committee. We've decided to move forward. So
Well,
old
I'm
business.
asking the security committee, as a
There's
board member,
no-
I am
there's no
asking-
decision has been made.
I'm asking if last month, did you
Mm-hmm.
discuss possibly hiring new security? Was that discussed last
I
month?
am not going to answer that question now. I don't recall. So
You don't recall?
we are moving forward. Old business. Status of ongoing litigation, styled, the cost is there. So any updates on that? Cheryl, do you want to?
Well, I'd recommend if you do have any comments or discussion, go to executive session on it. Otherwise,
we-
you can just defer or
we don't.
move forward.
Okay. I do want to make a public comment.
Sure.
The appeal was not based on not paying attorney fees. That's lying. If you read the public record, the appeal was based on the denial of the tortious interference claim, which was part of the first amended petition, which was also misleading to the public, right? The information was, the lawsuit was dropped. No, it wasn't. Just one element of the lawsuit. We were founded on the false imprisonment and assault. They decided to appeal those because they did not like the answer. Well, we did not agree also with tortious interference. And so just to make that clear, we did not appeal on the basis that we did not like, the money element or the money decision behind this case. That is not true. Our appeal was based purely on toward use interference. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Anything else? David? Nope.
Move to adjourn this meeting.
Attorneys, we have attorney's report.
We have no update. Our item is the bond application report, but we'll have that to your next meeting next week.
Okay.
That all?
That's all I have, yes, sir.
Okay.
And any need to go into executive session? Nope. All right, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
I'll second it.
Seconded. All in favor?
Adjourned at what, 8:25?
8:25.
Hey, and you need to finish this.
This is mine, right?
Yes. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, this is mine, and this is,
Yeah, that's yours.
Yeah.
But, yeah, yours, I crossed that out.
Gotcha.
That's correct, and that's correct.
Yep, got it.
That's mine.
We don't need to put that on here.
Okay. I received this recently